Good morning. Thanks for joining me at Coffee with Kory. It was such a wonderful week, and definitely the highlight was getting to have coffee in person with my good friend Clark, who spent 29 days in the hospital with chemo treatments, and he's out. He's looking pretty spry, and it was so good to see you again, my friend. Catching up on all those things that make us good friends in the first place, family and faith and our small businesses and just all the things. So our time this week together was very special to me, and I felt like that was a really good way to lead off Coffee with Kory with all of you this Saturday. So I also wanted to talk about a conversation that I have with Cassidy and Pierce. I must have been last Sunday when Cassidy was home over the weekend, and we made some breakfast and we were talking a little bit about the real estate industry. When people come into a house, they're gonna have questions, and you wanna be able to answer as many of them as you possibly can. But it's not just about product knowledge of the house that you're in, it's product knowledge about all the other houses in the surrounding neighborhood and in the city, and being knowledgeable about the city. That's product knowledge can encompass so many different things. And I could see that they were kind of getting a little overwhelmed with that. So I also followed up with another one of the things that's critical in any sales industry is don't be scared to say you don't know. Sometimes you don't know the answer. And even sometimes that is one of the best things that can happen to you, because if you don't know the answer and your potential client knows that you're genuinely interested in finding the answer for them, you can gather their information so that you can find out the answer and follow back up with them later. When someone tells you they're already working with somebody else, you want to be just as helpful as you were before they told you that you weren't going to get the opportunity to sell them a house. They're working with somebody else. Great, I know this and this about this house. I'd be happy to follow up with your agent about it, and therefore obviously be able to help the client out. And I know that was, especially for people just getting into our industry and that are new to sales in general, helping out your competition sometimes seems like a little bit of a foreign concept, but believe me, that comes back around. And not only that, the other agent that you're working with, they're very appreciative when you're willing to be helpful to them. And so, it's all about the whole working and playing well with others kind of thing. And so that is just a good rule of business and probably a good rule of life. I'm gonna wrap up today's Coffee with Kory, and I'm not sure how this is gonna go, but some of you have probably noticed that I'm sitting here with an empty coffee cup today, and actually a little bit of coffee here that I hope is still warm. I'm gonna pour it in this cup.
A few moments later.
This cup was a gift from Clark's sweet wife, Tara. She left at the office for me this week with a little note that said in part, I took this picture of Clark, which is on the other side here. I took this picture of Clark shortly after you started the Coffee with Kory series, and he was so intent on what you were talking about as he drank his coffee that morning that I just had to take a picture, and I'm so glad that I did. And you know what, Tara? I'm glad you did too. Thank you very much for this cup. It's a good way for me to be able to spend time with my buddy Clark and have coffee with you even when you can't be with me here in person. So please know that I, my family, and all of your family and friends are going to keep you right here when you go in for your next round of chemo next week. And we love you, man. So thanks again for your time with me this week. And thanks to all of you for joining me this week at Coffee with Kory. I hope to see you again next time.